How you doing? This is NK the Smart View. So right about today, let's get on now to a live gameplay using the statistics system. So for today's gameplay, we'll be going on to what? The green 2 plus. So we'll be going on with what? Green 2 plus. We had what? A period whereby we had a little bit of dominance here, and right about here, we just went through a little pause. So it's time to resume green 2 plus. So let's get on and get set with it right now. After this little pause right here, it's time to commence. So let's get on. From ID 31, we'll be going on with green 2 plus. So let's refresh this. From ID 31, we'll be going on with what? 2 plus on the color green. Now, as I did state, there are 4 methods to be able to what? Calculate using the statistics method. Number 1 is your 24 hours. This gives what? The buyers daily, the long-term outlook, what is currently happening on the long term. Number 2, you have the 100 draws. This serves as much more of your entry. It tells you if to enter or if not to enter. Number 3, you have what? Your last 10 draws. This actually what provides strength, current strength. You can use to know if a color is lagging or is leading, if it's fading in or is what? Fading out. So this particular one is very what? Important. Then number 4, you have what? Your flips, your reflips, your double flips, higher band, lower band. These are very important. In fact, this is the core of it all. This would actually give you the longer term outlook. This will give you entry. This is a form of confirmation to know if to begin or not to begin. But you see, these are the core. This teaches you when to stop, when to begin, if to pause, and other things that you might need to do. So this is the work of this all. Sometimes you could be on a gameplay and there is a need, you pause. You could pause for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. As I did just state now, green underwent what? This period of what? Slow. So here it failed 2 times. You understand me? Leading us to start our gameplay on what? ID 31. So there will be a continuation to that. Alright, so right about now, let's get on now. We did not have what? An occurrence of a green 2 plus here, but as I stated in previous video, your statistics numbering and how your statistics actually stays at a given period determines the percentage chance of you winning. The current statistics which we have now, I'll be going over to the statistics shortly, is a 70 to 80%. What that means is the fact that out of the next 10 draws, starting from what? ID 31, we should have what? Up to 7 or 8 wins on color green 2 plus. Now, there is something that we call what? The ideal gameplay setup. This is a 99.99% setup, which means that once that setup comes in, the chances of you getting 10 out of 10 is high. The chances of 17, 18, 20 out of 20 is also what? High. Though it's a setup that comes few times in a day, it's not something that you can hold on to. But if you are steady, you can see the setup come few times a day. And once it starts, 15 draws, 20 draws, good one, you have what? Winning streaks on it. So let's get on now by refreshing this. So we had a 31 here, out 2 plus, out 3, failed this, out, and what? Failed this. So we have what? Ourselves a 3 out of 5 so far. Now, as I did state, we'll get over now to the statistics. Let's get over to 24 hours. On 24 hours, we can see what the statistics is actually saying right about here. 100 draws rather, this is actually what? Stagnant. This was 30 when I began. You can see now we're having a flip here. So what is a flip here now? A flip is the chance that the color red can actually dominate the color green and the color green start fading, which means at this point green could become a bad color to play, or the color green could as well dominate the color red and the color red what? Fades away. So during a period of flip now, it's actually a period of pause. You want to always know what is going to happen. So you don't want to assume that red here is going to flip out green or green will flip out red. So during periods of flip like this, the occurrence is that this color we are choosing can actually go on a short-term break. As you can see, green has not been here. We've had what? Draw here, 3 green, 3 blue, 3 red. We've had blue here. We could have green coming out 3 plus in the next. You understand? So we've had a draw, we've had a blue. So if red is going to flip out green now, we could see red appear 3 plus in the next game. If there's a high chance that green is going to flip out red, we could see what? Green 3 plus in the next. And in some cases, we have what? A complete setup. Draw, blue, red and green, or green and red. So red and green winning the next 2 draws. So this is it right now. You have what? Another draw. So green has actually what presented itself at this given stage. So after 2 draws, you had what? Green appear 2+. As I did tell you, the period of flips, a period whereby you have to pause out. In a few minutes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, a flip is going to occur here. So it's either what? Green ascertaining dominance or red ascertaining dominance. But shortly, a flip will occur here, and after a flip, we expect something of momentum. And this is not a flip that comes with confluence. A flip that comes with confluence is one whereby draw is also part of the flipping parties. That means rather than this green and red flipping, it would have likely been what? Green and draw. If you see such a flip like this, it's a higher form of confluence and it gives more security overall. So that's something to actually take note of. So it gives more security overall. Now, red has actually flipped green, if we should refresh, but we don't have a confirmation on that, right? So this is 26 to 25. There is no confirmation on the flip yet. There will only be confirmation when we get what? A double digit difference, or no, a double figure difference. And in that given sense now, we still have it on just a single, that's -1. So a difference of 2, rather, I didn't mean a difference of 2 and above, not double figures. Double figures means 2 letters. So let's look into that now and see, does green get to appear here, or do we still have what? Red dominate, and in that sense there's a high chance that what? Green is going to fade out. So we've had green dominate now, so we should be on 25-25 once again. So okay, rather 26-26, yes, 26-26. So as I did state, we have no clear dominance, and what? Each of them is going to keep on battling up until one win. But one major thing is the fact that, as I did tell you at the start of this video, green is the golden boy for this period. That means it's the best option to pick. We are having a flip, which means that red is actually what? Going to contend. But there is a high chance that because of green is the golden boy right about now, it's actually going to what? Finally flip, and it will be dominant. So there's more chances that green is going to win this flip than red winning the flip. So that is one thing you should actually what? Keep in mind. So let's get on to that. So you can see green has once again appeared. Now 27-26, right? Okay, 26-26, no movement on that. Now in the next few minutes, 2 things that should happen. Most likely green is going to what? Dominate this. Then before you know, the flip will no longer be between green and red, but it will be green and blue. Once that happens, now green is sure to start dropping. That is what we call a double flip. So it's flipped the first one, it's flipped the second one. Once it's time for green to flip what? The color blue, after it has flipped red, we call that a double flip, and you don't want to be in at that time. You don't want to be in. There's likely a chance that blue will once again pick on dominance for a short term. You can see green fail up to 4 times. Do you understand the concept there? So a double flip, that is how it works. Green can dominate now, but once you start seeing green contending with the color blue, it's high time you what? Pack up. It's called a double flip. So let's get on to that now and refresh and see how far we've gone. Okay, so we've had a green drop by 1, but we cannot call this a flip yet, because what? The red did not actually appear. So we started this ID at ID what? 31. So ID 31 1, 32 1, 33 lost, 34 1, 35 lost, 36 lost, 1 1 1 1 1. So as I did tell you at the beginning of this video, earlier on in the video, this is a what? 70 to 80% accuracy gameplay, which means that we're going to get 7 or 8 out of 10. And in this case, now out of 11, starting from ID 81 all the way here, we got what? 8 out of 11, and we've gotten ourselves 9 out of what? Okay, 10. Okay, yeah, 9 out of 11 right about now. So you get the whole deal. This is an 70 to 80% chance gameplay. So looking at this now, we're going back here. We've gotten a flip on the color green to red. So this is it. Red has actually what? Flipped out green. Green is dropping. That means if the next gameplay cannot be positive for green, the immediate gameplay, next one, we are cutting this. We are stopping gameplay on green. So this is it. Let's watch out the result. Alright, so right about now, we're ending the gameplay on green 2+. It has lost its dominance. Let's check out the 24 hours. Yes, it has ideally lost its dominance. So blue is actually going to take over the baton now. red is actually going to be much more subtle in appearance. So the golden color has now switched from what? The color green to the color blue. So blue 2+ now becomes a better option from this given stage. So if you are staking now at this very given stage, you end what? Green 2+ and begin what? Blue 2+. So starting from ID what? 44 rather. 43 is the ending of the previous gameplay. From ID 44 we go on blue 2+. So let's start up a new gameplay as we've changed our color, blue 2+. So we had our first gameplay here. We have what? 2+ on color what? Blue. Now blue is actually what? On 30 right now. It has a very good level before we talk about it going into the higher band. And one thing you should note about going into the higher band, despite a difference of 5 to 12, this can take around 15 draws to 30 draws, because it's all about what? Getting winning color. So except if there is a very severe dominance on the color blue, we could actually have the next 15 to what? 30 draws before we can talk about clearing out the higher band. But from ID 44 right here, we are starting on blue 2+. So we stopped green 2+ at ID 43 right about here, and from 44 here it's a what? Different case scenario, and we've actually taken out the color what? Blue right about now. So looking at this now, we've seen blue in action. So blue in action right about here. 1 2 3 red, 1 green. Looking at the 100 draws now, the color green has actually what? Faded more. So it was what? 26 to 26 before. This is now -3. This is what? +1. So you get the whole idea there. That's the concept behind this. Now we're on color blue 2+. We'll continue on blue 2+ up until blue achieves the higher band. Now limitation to what? Green before was what? Number 1, it flips. Number 2, it go in for a double flip, then we end it. Limitation for blue on this other hand is what? Different. That's the reason why if you go through the classes and the steps which is used, you have a whole lot to learn. You understand me? So limitation for the color blue right now is quite what? Different. It's what? Meeting up with the higher band. So at every given stage you have what to follow. That's why statistics is interesting, though you need to put in time to learn it as much as possible, because if you do, there are so many mistakes you cannot what? Make. Now look at the last 4 draws now. 1 2 3 4. What can you find here? We started blue at what? ID 44, right? We started blue at ID 44. Now for the last 4 draws, blue, 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 blue. Green on the other hand has only appeared once. Do you understand the whole goal here? If you have deep understanding of statistics, you would enjoy fun just a gameplay entirely. You should know what to expect, when to expect it, and that's just how you keep on moving with it. So let's get on now. We have ourselves now another what? Blue 2+. So since we started the gameplay of blue 2+ at ID 44 right about here, we've actually won 1 2 3 4 out of 4. So looking at this now, blue has not moved, so we still have what? A very decent way before we talk about the higher band. That means we could still continue on blue for the next few minutes. See green on the other hand, the golden color once it failed the flip. That is the first thing you have to note. It failed the flip. That's why, as I did tell you, you have your 24 hours, you have your 100 draws, you have your last 10 draws, but you see these factors: flips, reflips, double flips, higher lower band. They are what determines entry and exit. At the period of failing a flip, you understand me, confirmation to failing the flip, we moved over to blue, and since then we've actually had every single color, every single outcome on blue winning. Do you understand the whole idea? So you don't actually joke with this. Statistics is not all about this and that. No, it's the core principle of Bet9ja. Once you learn it in depth, you should know what to do at every given stage. So let's get on to this right about now. We still have what? A little bit of way before we talk about getting to the higher band. So higher band is a difference of 5 to 12 from here. Those who are on the mentorship should understand what I mean by that. That means we can still go on blue right now. And the best part about playing blue 2+ is the fact that nobody's flipping it. So there's no one contending with it, at least for now. So you can get yourself what? A decisive gameplay. You continue on it knowing fully well that it's just what? Moving on with the color blue 2+. So we had our first X right about here on blue 2+. It's quite a normal thing. After some period of what? Dominance, a color can fade. Doesn't mean that it has failed. It failed for 1 draw. it could fade for 2 draws, but what, it is continuous. As you can see, it did not appear, but we are still having it on 30. Red is what, rapidly approaching for a flip, so we might get the need to flip this. But since it's a single flip, we cannot put into so much consideration for red. But in a double flip, yes, red is most likely to fade away. So for a single flip, red actually what, has the power. But one major thing you should know is the fact that red is not going in for a single flip now. Red did his first flip with what, color green right about here, green failed. Now it's going in for a second flip with what, the color blue right about here. So most likely it's going to what, fail at that given sense. So we've had 2 draws whereby blue actually had to what, drop down. Then we had what, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 draws where blue gave us what, 2 plus 3 plus and all. So in short, in a very short period of time, blue will still pick up dominance. Red is rapidly approaching for a flip, but it's a double flip, and as I did state about double flips, it's not something you make considerations to. You can flip the first, yes, and it's what, successful, but the second is where there happens to always be what, an issue. So in that given sense, now let's watch out the gameplay and see how it actually what, gets to unfold. So we have blue once again appear here after 2 draws. So we have what, 4 to 11 right about here. We are not yet on the higher band, so we can still keep on with what, the color blue 2 plus. So we had what, this period of break is quite normal. In 4-9ja, you can't have 100 over 100 all the time, though you have periods whereby you can get yourself 10 out of 10 draws. But looking at the screen right now, we have what is decent 8 out of 10, and that's good. And we've actually picked out what, 6 out of 8. So it's actually what, quite a decent one. So we continue on this right now, as we still have quite some room before we talk about what, hitting the higher bands, then looking in what, to close down on the gameplay. So that's it right about there. We got ourselves what, now another 2 plus blue. Red is also trying to dominate, as you can see. So we could have a 29 to 31 here. So 29 to 30. Red is trying to flip out blue, but as I did state, it's gotten his first flip, it's going in for a second flip, and second flip always tends to fail. What that means is the fact that red might try to contend with blue at this given stage, it will fail, and you will see blue what, pick up massively and start running. So let's see to that. So we have ourselves blue again. So looking at this, we are a difference of 2 right now, so 31. As I did state, every single color, we did choose green earlier on. The parameter for blue was what, a flip and what, a double flip before we ended the gameplay. Now such parameter did not work on green, rather is now what, holding on the color red. So a flip, then what, going in for a double flip. Let's see if red actually what does, okay, green rather has actually what, left. Let's see if blue agrees for what, the chance at a flip. So let's continue on this right now. We have ourselves what, ID 54 here, ID 54 to occur next. So let's look at, once we get over to the higher band, it's time to what, call it a day on the color blue. But before then, the color what, red can actually look in for dominance. So 29 to 30, we are having what, a look at a flip. Not confirmed yet because we have not actually gotten exact numbers, matching figures. We are still on a 29 to a 30. So you can't call this right now a flip or the chance of a flip. It's still what, back. Up until we can get ourselves a 30-30, we are not talking about a double flip and looking in for a flip. So let's see what the next draw unfolds, and we know where to go from there. But as I did state, double flips is always, or most of the time, almost 100% a no-no. Okay, when I talk about double flips, I mean like very close double flip, not something far off. So you understand me? So this is 100 draws now. We are still having ourselves a 29 to a 30. So we have ourselves a 29 to a 30 here. So we can't call this a flip. Blue actually what did not present itself here, but we had a draw. 3 on red, 3 on what? Green. So we had ourselves what? A draw right about here. So we continue on this right now. The video is quite lengthy, but I want to what? Push in the narrative so you understand this more. So I want to push in the narrative of what? Implementation on the double flips. As I did state, the fourth parameter to use in this, which is the most important, are your flips, reflips, double flips, higher band, lower band. It tells you when to stop. It gives you that insight of when to stop. Also when to switch colors. As you did know, we switched over from what? The color green to the color blue. So it's also what? A parameter to know when to switch over from one to another. Looking at this given state now, we did lose, if we were still on green, 3 draws consecutively. Right now we have what? 2/3 on green. We have what? 2/3 on red, and also 2/3 on blue. We are looking in for a change in power shortly. So we are looking in for a change in power shortly. So looking at this now, green has actually done poorly. It's down bad. In fact, it's now the lowest. Draw itself has flipped out green. So we are talking about green falling to as low as 16, 14, 12 in the next few minutes. Draw has already made that flip, though unconfirmed. You understand? So draw has made that flip. So let's look in now for this, and we have ourselves what? 2 blue, 2 green, 2 red. Let's see if draw has finally what? Confirmed this flip. That means yeah, so flip confirmation here. Now we're having a flip between what? Red and blue. Finally, the flip between red and blue has officially what? Set in. Now, as I did state, a double flip, a direct double flip. A direct double flip is one in which a color flips. Then the next flip is actually what? Still around it. Though we had what? A break. You can see that draw went in for a flip with what? The color green. So we had a break. But at this stage now, when we're talking about the color red individually, it's flipped this out. Draw also flipped this out. Now it's what? Red and the color what? Blue right about now. So let's look at it. Who does what? The harder hitting. Who hits harder from here on? So red has already dropped by 1. As I did tell you, double flips is mostly a no-no in so many cases. So there's a high chance that red can die from here. Before you know, you see 28, 27, 26, 25. He just keeps on dropping. Double flip is playing out. So let's get on with that now. Let's get on with that. You can see that already we are having a bit of a drop. Color red is not as it was down here. It's what? Looking very, very not decent. So a few minutes now we get in, and as I did state, 2 parameters to look onto is what? The flip between the red and the blue, and also what? The higher band, which is now a difference of 6 to 13. So that is it right about there. So we have ourselves now a red, so 29 to 29, right? So 29, okay, to 28. Red is actually what? Looking in for a flip. But as I did tell you, this is a case of a double flip. So very hardly it's actually going to what? Play out right about here. A higher chance that we're having the color blue get to do the dominance. Let's check out the 24 hours and see if yes, we are still on track. So everything is much more settled. The last 10 draws, we had the color blue dominate here with red. We had what? Much more of an equilibrium here. We had over here now much more of an equilibrium with red actually what? Okay, red performing poorly. So right now we're looking in for what? Blue. So appearances of blue to avoid a what? A flip at this given stage. So looking at this 100 draws, we are still on 29 to 28. Blue has actually what? Skipped out 2 draws. Yes, that's what happened during a flip. A color can actually what? Skip out draws like this up until it is confirmed for dominance. Once it's confirmed for dominance, we can go in now for a gameplay. So let's look at blue. Is not out of the game yet. Definitely not. If it picks up when it picks up, then it's time to what? Go much more dominant. As I did tell you, red is on a double flip. Double flip most of the time doesn't play out. So most likely it will tend to fade. It could actually go on a surge like this. As you can see, the last 2 games, you had what? 3 here, you had 2 here. It could go on a surge only to eventually fail and fail out woefully. So let's get on now. We've had what? Color blue now. So color blue did win. We've gotten ourselves now back to a 29-29. At this given stage now, we are likely going to have what we call what? A failed flip. A color will try to execute a flip. In this case, the color what? Red. It will fail it, and it will fail woefully. So red failing to execute this flip, we could see ourselves next on 28 to 30, and if that happens, red is out, the next thing you start saying is the red will start dropping over and over and over and over again. So let's get on now as we wait that out. So we have a draw here. So we had a draw and what the color red did for. So let's look in for the next. We should have a blue winning soon. Blue should actually what be winning quite soon. Then we have what a confirmed flip on blue, then a failed flip on red, and once that happens, forget about it. Red is gone. It will just keep on dropping and dropping and dropping, and it will move out. So once we look in now, once a flip confirmation occurs here, you see a 2+ difference between what blue to red. That's it. It's a failed flip and a flip confirmation from the color blue, and from there henceforth blue has actually what gotten the higher ground. So let's get on now for this. And what do we have here? Okay, blue actually did win. We've not gotten a confirmation yet, so we've not actually had ourselves what the flip is still 28 to 29. So the flip is not yet confirmed right about here. So we do wait. We wait. All right, so let's watch out the next game. There's a likely chance that the next game could eventually bring out what we need. All right, we have ourselves another draw. Did red get to drop at the point of this draw? No, it didn't. So we are still what? Okay, we have ourselves 28 to 28. So we are still hanging on to this. No confirmed flip at this given stage. And let's watch out for the next gameplay. Though blue has been quite excellent. Looking at the last 10 draws, we did have no 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 10. That's a 70% margin there. That's a decent one. Once you have yourself up to 7 out of 10, you have yourself a good gameplay. Mostly when you do not go over a stretch of 2 times in a loss. You understand this? You should not look in for 100 over 100. As long as you can get yourself what a 7 out of 10 with a max stretch of what 2 times, then you are good to go. Keep that in mind. So let's look at this now. We have ourselves what still a 28 over 22, still a 28 to 28. Blue is actually what blue won this out, but we did not get ourselves what a flip. So in a short time, a flip is most likely to end. Yeah, most definitely 2 colors cannot stay flipping forever. One will dominate, and in this giving sense now, the higher chance of a color to dominate is the color what blue, because this has made a flip. It's actually going in for a double flip, so likely an X, likely it will not make it. So let's look into that now. This video has actually what gone far. It's rather very far off, but I just want to pass the information as clearly as I can. Then after that we can get to end it. But I believe with this I've been able to pass the information to a good extent. And all right, so let's check out that now. We have ourselves what a 28 to a 29. We should be going in for a flip confirmation. So let's wait out the next gameplay. So after the next gameplay, I drop my commentary. We might not stay to see the end of this. If not, we will be getting up to 45 minutes on this video, or more than 45 minutes. Already we are down 30 minutes, so we cannot stay to the end of this gameplay, and we have to call it a quit. I'll just drop my commentary on the ending part, and that will be all. Alright, so we have alright, so the input is there. Let's check it out. 1, 2, 3, and we have a draw. Let's see if the red did drop with the appearance of a draw. No, it didn't. So we'll be ending this here because we cannot go any further from here. But do have in mind that this is most likely to flip out this, then this gets to the higher band, and we call it a day.